Welcome to episode 14, 10th/11 weeks of the semester/class checklist. So this is what I call the fatigue check-in. So by week 10, week 11, especially week 10, you might be feeling like, oh, I am tired. This is a lot. It's college for me. What did I sign up for? You might be thinking and feeling all of those things. Here's what I encourage you to do to check in with yourself. Ask yourself these questions. It's very similar to what we said before, but this is a new week. So let's talk about it. These are things we're asking ourselves. How many hours of sleep am I getting? Am I sleeping through the night? Am I waking up feeling rested? Am I staying up late to cram and waking up early? Am I taking care of my basic needs? This is where we're checking in with ourselves about, are we able to eat every day? Are we able to get out of the bed? Are we drinking water? We're just checking in, no judgment. If you can't remember the last time you did any of those things, then here are some actions I encourage you to take. If you have loved ones or friends that you trust, and I'm reading from my laptop, let them know that you need support. And if you're on campus, you already know what I'm going to say. There's no judgment, but I encourage you to reach out to counseling services. It's happened to the best of us. I have been there before, and I've needed to reach out for support. The other thing is, we talked about a win is a win before, and I'll say this, especially when you're fatigued, that win, and I said this before, and it still stands true for this episode, the win might be just getting out of bed and getting dressed for the day and going to class, or rolling out of bed and logging onto your computer, especially when you're feeling tired and drained. The last thing I want to say when we're thinking about being fatigued, no is a complete sentence. We want to make sure, especially when we're feeling fatigued, that we're setting clear boundaries so that you don't have to push through anything per se. A lot of times we hear that language, I just have to push through. I just have to push through. I just have to push through. There will always be something for us to do. There will always be the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And everything isn't meant for us to push through. And so that's why I say no is a complete sentence. I have to switch out the battery, y'all. Typical YouTuber thing to say, had to switch out my battery. All right, week 11. So this is what we're also checking. As we prepare for our registration, we're creating 2 to 3 schedule options because there's no guarantee that you'll get all the classes you want at any given registration time, particularly based on your classification. So if you came in with no credits, then you probably have to register the last day of registration. Or even if you came in with credits, you might not have priority. And this is a list that you can make on your own. And this is one that we'll talk about meeting with our advisor next. But this is something that you'll do on your own, where you'll look at your required courses and look at the schedule, which should be available by now. And then you'll write your schedule options. Then you're going to meet with your advisor about your schedule so that they may be able to give you any input that will be necessary to move forward for the next semester. And then this is also where we're remembering to follow up with any letters of recommendation, depending on the timeline that you gave your recommenders. And if you haven't already, this is also a great time, just a reminder, to apply to any scholarships or internships or jobs. If you haven't already, create a resume. Again, check with career services. And also, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to create a LinkedIn. You might feel a way about social media. You might love it. You might hate it. But the world we live in, LinkedIn is a great resource to already have. And even if you don't have any job experience, you can definitely include your volunteer experience if you have any, even prior to college. You can include your organizations. There are also some great LinkedIn groups, and this just gives you an online professional presence. All right, y'all, that's all we have for this episode. As we say here at Boosie Teaches, in a galaxy of learners, Boosie Teaches lights the way. I'll see you in the next episode.